Welcome back, guys, to this podcast number 9. Today we have very interesting topics. So our first topic is very interesting, and it is the artificial intelligence helping NASA design the new Artemis moon suit. What do you think about that, Joe?
Well, it looks pretty cool. No matter what they do, like whether they redesign it and make it lighter or anything, it's still got to be like bulky, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's not thick enough, you got to think when you're going on the moon, if you get hit by a stray meteorite or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like you want your suits, even if it like gets lighter and lighter over time, it's got to have some stopping power. Like you think about it, when you walk out of that ship, I don't know. Maybe you're going. It's like you're going on a range of some sort, you know, and
True.
you're expecting fire to come from wherever, you know.
Hey, you imagine that? Imagine that getting hit by a meteor and you're in there. So this suit, it's supposed to have what? A kind of like a repair mechanism.
A repair mechanism. I didn't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I don't know this because this is AI, man. I'm expecting something like so drastic things to be improved because of this AI being assistant, man. It's helping NASA design stuff. So does this suit come with that feature?
Yeah, no. What I remember is that the article was talking about how it'll assist the life support system. Like so it'll like wait, I don't know, for temperature, for other load pressuring systems. It's somehow gonna like make it so that there's like it's 50% lighter for some components.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just going. I think they were using it in like the design, but I think it also sounds like they're using it in like the implementation. So it's going to be actively doing something, but I think it was also actively used to design the suit as well.
Interesting.
Yeah. We're able to see it says like the machine's able to do a process that's 100 or 1,000 times more than we can do, because it we can sense a lot of things, but it's like sensing more things faster. And also it says for the design of the suit, it looked for like our eyes, we visualize a suit and the different physics related to load bearing, but the AI is able to test thousands and millions of computations and find out, is there a way to make this a little bit lighter and still have the same strength as before? Because that's the thing. These suits aren't compromising strength. They're still as strong as before, but they are lighter.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So when do you think that this says has been gonna be what, around 2024?
Yeah, they're being very ambitious. Like the seems like the space exploration has picked up in recent years. A lot of partnering with Tesla, to get rockets. Like the United States had decommissioned our what was it? Shoot, our shuttle for many years. So we finally got our own again. Partnering like that. I covered that like a few weeks ago, and we were like, we were partnering. We've been partnering with the Russians for a long time. We were using their launch pads and their shuttles and stuff. But yeah, I guess people are looking to land on Mars. Where we're no longer content with landing on the moon like 40, 50 years ago. Now we're like, we need something ambitious to keep the human race ignited, and like kind of like, it's a uniting thing, thinking like we're landing on the moon or landing on Mars. It brings a lot of countries together, and it really sparks the imagination.
That's very interesting, and hopefully that this makes a success on this with the help of the AI. And I'm just kind of wondering too, is this suit gonna be able to support Venus trip out there, because the temperatures out there are extremely outrageous out there. So I wonder if this suit would actually support temperature.
Yeah, as whether it's just suited for the moon or Mars versus something like Venus. Um, the the thing is though, I think it would. I'm guessing that it would be relatively the same. I'm not sure because you think of the moon. The moon doesn't have much atmosphere at all, and so it's very cold. Like, and when you do a spacewalk outside the shuttle, you're either on one side of the shuttle where the sun is beaming at you, or the other side where there's no sun at all. And I'm not sure what I think the difference can be several hundreds of degrees depending on if you're talking about Fahrenheit. Um, but I don't know unless somebody else knows. Is Venus colder than walking outside of the space shuttle? If that's true, then yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. I'm not sure if there's some, that's kind of like, it's like saying there's like some sub-zero like planet for some weird reason. So maybe like blocks out more of the sun than, I don't know. So, so somebody can tell us, what they think about that. If yeah, what temperatures are in space, right?
Definitely. I just wonder. I wonder if we ever gonna get to the capacity of ever getting closer to the sun with a spacesuit or spacecraft.
Like Mercury.
Yeah, closer to Mercury or even to the
sun. You're right. Venus. Yeah. I just, I somehow, for some reason, I thought like I was thinking like Neptune when I thought you said Venus. I was like thinking the opposite direction. So yeah, I haven't thought about the alignment of the planets in a long time.
Yeah, if you don't know the alignment of the planets, they usually always say, "My very educated mother just showed us 9." But according to
eight, yeah,
they don't include Pluto.
Oh, sad little Pluto.
Or Pluto. I think I still consider it a planet. I still consider it. What do you think? What do you say? Yes or no?
I don't understand why they changed it. If they changed it because that they have like, do you know why? Did they change it because
they say it's the size of an asteroid or size of a moon?
So they didn't know what the size was when they said it?
I guess so.
And they're like, hey, that might. And that is the weird part. Usually science is like, we're not going to call that a planet unless we know there's a reason why we're calling that a planet.
But Pluto has been called a planet for years, for maybe even like way back before we even started looking into space.
You got to wonder if some scientists were like, yeah, no, that's not a planet. We're just not going to tell the public for like. They sat on this for a couple decades. They're like, hey guys, yeah, it's actually not a planet. We're busy doing other stuff. We didn't care to like that was on a post-it note somewhere, and we just didn't like want to tell you. Like it was not important. But then all of a sudden we're like, hey, we haven't launched people into space for a few years. Let's give you an update about planets. I don't know.
Not to be discussed this into the future. Is Pluto ever going to be a planet?
I just think it's weird because I think we had pretty good telescopes and pretty good imaging of faraway stars and like gauging how big those are. I just think it's really weird that it took us forever to figure out if Pluto was a planet.
I'm still surprised that to today at this point in time that we have high tech equipment running at gigabit internet speeds, and phones and cameras are running at 4K, even almost 10K at this point in time. How come we don't have personal telescopes for home use to even see the moon, and the moon ain't even that far?
I don't know.
Because they say that you could pretty much fit. Here's the thing: is I'm pretty sure this is gonna mind blow you, that they say that you could fit all the planets between Earth and the moon. I don't know if you knew that.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm kind
of skeptical about that.
There's a lot of talk on that in the community. They said because they tell you how far the distance is between the Earth and the moon. They're pretty far, and you could put almost every planet in there. So I don't know how true that is. It's just a big conspiracy, guys.
I have a little bit of doubt of that because I thought like you could like across. Okay, here's why I think that's kind of weird because I thought like if you go like Jupiter, you could put like I don't know, like 300 Earths across Jupiter's diameter. So I'm pretty sure like you take like 3 or 4 of our Earths and you've hit the moon. So I'm not really sure about this. This is like, I haven't astronomy. I haven't looked into astronomy forever, but I have a feeling that I'm on one side of the fence.
I don't know, man. I don't know. There's all these things out there, man.
Oh yeah, so
But
somebody let's have a comment contest. Everybody comment in their section about which way are you on this topic.
this is a very interesting one, man. Think about it. Think about it. Keep your minds open, guys, because we still don't know much about space.
Yeah, always keeping it open.
Always keep your mind open because you never know what you're gonna find out there in space. Go to the next topic. Next topic is Google brings its AI-powered SmartReply to YouTube. What do you think about that? And also, I'll say my opinion too. Since we're both YouTubers and we're both content creators, what do you think about this SmartReply? Is it gonna help us? Is it gonna turn us down? Is it gonna affect us negatively with our engagement to our audience?
It's you find it hard for me to say anything negative about a new program or a new, anything, coming from YouTube.
Yeah.
Personally, I see it as a very niche thing that you'd have to like, maybe I can't even think of the moment why, but like maybe you want to do like a positive video telling how much you support your supporters or something, and you want to you just know you want to put a lot of positivity out there and respond to them, but at the same time, like, Google's AI has to get really smart for people to basically be fooled into thinking that you're responding with something that's like unique.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't like the idea of somebody responding with a canned response. I do. Okay, here's a counterpoint. Some people do. You already do. Like, when I give replies to people, I try to do like genuine responses, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, when you get big enough, you don't have time for that. And so you do like let a lot of people just discuss things in your comment sections. Like, somebody will ask a question and another viewer will answer that question. So there'll be a chain of interactions in the chat. So I guess there's some things where like, let's say somebody says, "Hey, you did an awesome job on that video." And then Google reply says, "Thank you," or something. And like, maybe Google's like saving you like a few seconds of typing that out, and you can just click "thank you" with a smiley face. So there's little things where it's like, you wouldn't expect a very detailed response anyway, where it's just like the question, it's just like basically they're giving you praise and you just want to like give them a little shout out, like, "Thank you for that,"
I agree with you. It's a good thing and a bad thing. Like, me personally, I think it's a good thing. It'll help us save more time instead of typing all that stuff, so we can actually go to the next comment to keep going and flowing with the comments, instead of just typing away and being automated. But in regards, I still think, like, in a way we should still be engaged without actually using a little bit of AI. But it saves us more time. So typing and everything's already automated, detects what we should be typing next, because the algorithm is actually already knowing how we actually text. Even our phones do it at this point in time. I don't know if you ever use that, Joe.
Oh, you mean smart replies?
Yes.
Yeah, my family, we've actually when we first found out about them, we used them a few times, like, jokingly. And now, we all know basically what the smart replies are. So I never use them now. You know what I mean? Because it makes between your family members, it kind of makes it like, your conversation you're having not really that important. I'm not going to say something original back to,
Correct.
So it's like now, but what we did figure out is, instead of like this AI smart reply, voice to text is very useful.
Man.
So
that
it actually, yeah, and you know what that actually does? Like, I've used that a lot to talk to each other sometimes. There's some miscommunication, but not a lot. But I actually would be more impressed if YouTube said, "Hey, we're incorporating voice to text for comments.
That'll be
That
awesome.
would be mind blowing, don't you think?
Yeah.
As opposed to the SmartReply that people are like, it's not as genuine as voice to text.
True, because it's like when you type out things, when you actually, because this is the way I remembered things too. When you type things out or write things out, it's easier for you to remember it because you're looking at it and you're typing each letter.
Yeah.
And you're thinking about it. Your mind is processing the information. But when you do quick text, you don't even know. You just click a button and you don't even know what the hell you clicked or what the heck you clicked on. And you're not even going to remember, did I respond to this person if you use quick text? And that happens to me a few times. If I don't even remember if I send a text out because I use a quick response.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So it's like, you might not remember your response to the viewer. They might not remember your response to them because it was so mundane, right? It's so not unique. So the AI has to get basically has to get on the level of humans, you know?
Yeah.
Like AI can like beat humans in a lot of things, but can they beat us in creativity? Like, I mean, think about that. It's like there's so many different personalities out there. These SmartReplies, like like you're giving off different vibes when you reply with these automated responses, you know?
True.
Like some comments you actually comment and other ones are like, oh yeah, hey, that sounds nothing like the person who makes these videos.
Yeah, true. It sounds like a robot or scripted or everything. It's like,
yeah, is the AI going to be tailored to each individual YouTuber? You know?
I'm wondering.
Like, so I don't understand. I'm that's my little sideline comment is I don't know why voice to text didn't come first before this, because you do know that like Google Drive,
Mhm.
if you do it on Chrome, you can do voice to text.
Interesting.
I didn't know you had to use the Google browser, but you do in Google Drive, like for a Word document. It's there. But if you use it on any other browser, it's not supported. So it's like Google and the Google Drive. You think YouTube is owned by Google. Let's bring voice to text. And that would really, that would actually, I mean, that's the thing. More YouTubers would respond to comments if they could do voice to text.
Yep.
So there's something for YouTube to think about. Bring voice to text. People will love it so much more than SmartReply.
Definitely. I see. I didn't even know about that, about the SmartReply and all that stuff, or the voice text on for the other platforms. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and YouTubers will be able to look at this in their YouTube studio, which YouTube's been bringing like everything into the studio, trying to bring things that used to be like on the outsides. You have to go like many different places. They're trying to bring everything closer together, so it takes less time for the creator to be interactive. But again, yeah, I've already said what I'm going to say about the voice to text.
Well, what about, here's another question, and this is a very like, it's still about the same thing, but it's kind of like a little bit upper. So how is this gonna? I wonder how this is going to affect the between languages.
Yeah, they, again, there's Google Translate, right? Which I use Google Translate a lot when I have different people using their native tongues on either my video or on Facebook or somewhere. I will use Google Translate and I will put their language in, and then I will write something in Google, and then I will send that back to them from my language into their language and reply to them, right? Because I can't speak Spanish, I can't speak German, but if you speak to me in German in the comment section, I will respond in German by using Google Translate. The thing is, right now it's only supported in English and Spanish, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think it only does those two because like we've talked about, if AI has a trouble coming off as being genuine, they're not really going to push out to many more languages until they can solve it in English and Spanish.
Yeah, those are the two common ones.
Yeah, like that's the stomping grounds. If you can pull it off there, you can try other ones. But some people say like other languages are more difficult than English and Spanish.
Yep.
Maybe go. I'm not sure if Chinese is much harder to do this what is it called again? The smart reply.
Because you have different types of like Chinese, and you have different types of Japanese. You have different types of like
Yeah,
even
different
Spanish.
dialects
Correct. And
of
then
the same
yeah,
language. Yeah.
like Spanish, you got Spain, you got Mexico, then you got deep Mexico Spanish. Because I speak Spanish as well, and besides English, but and I know that I've seen 3 different types of Spanish, or actually 4 times of Spanish that I've heard. Besides the Tex-Mex one, Tex-Mex is something that people down the south just made up because they were lazy. You know how that goes between borders. You start making people make up their own words. I even make up my own words sometimes when I can't say a computer part telling somebody how to say something in Spanish, on a computer part translating to English. I can't even do that. I wonder if Google Translate would actually do that for you. Or
Yeah, there's actually a term for that, but I can't remember it though. It's similar to slang, but it's like the language is being deconstructed, and they're saying English is less refined than it was about 100 to 200 years ago.
yeah.
It's getting, language is getting dumbed down in some sense, but in other sense, like technical or medical or something, it's going up.
Oh,
So
definitely.
yeah, people are, yeah, we're coming up with so much slang that people 200 years ago wouldn't understand so much of the slang that we use.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I met some people from Mexico, and they kind of like come here and they're like, "What the heck are you talking?" And because
Well,
I speak Spanish, like correct Spanish, but whenever I say certain words, like because I didn't care, and they kind of like, "What's that?"
well, can you imagine, like, this is another off topic? Can you imagine if we lived like 600 years old? Like, if we live that long, then
Oh man,
all the language breakdown. Someone that's been alive for 600 years would be like, they're like, you guys all talk in a different. You guys all talk so much differently. You're destroying the language. It's nothing like it was when I grew up, and
definitely.
it already feels, it already kind of feels that way with, like, when you have 100-year-olds.
Yeah, definitely.
So
So now moving on to the next topic, which is a very interesting topic: quantum computing, how conditions created by the human malware, which is delivering the best data we have ever seen. So what do you think about the quantum computing and the best data is being displayed?
a little bit above my pay grade, but
Hey, it's way above my pay grade. I don't know
yeah,
much about
it's above
quantum
my pay
computing.
grade. But I thought it was, you're gonna tell me best data. I'm gonna be impressed. You're gonna, what was cool about this article is that they were saying that something good was coming out of a social distancing, of us having to be confined in our homes. They
Hmm.
were saying that there was less noise and there was less heat, and so that these programs on these computers can run more stable. Like the air conditioning isn't fluctuating because there's several hundred people raising the level. And also that comes to with, like, extra things being, it's got to be heated for humans. It's got to be, other computers are on, other things, vacuums are making heat, someone's vacuuming the floor or something. So you took a lot of energy production usage and reduced it so that there's less vibrations, there's less heat, just far better test results that you normally would have to repeat because you got inaccurate results. So you're having less errors.
Correct, because like here in the article it states is like quantum computers exploit the weird behavior of matter, and also the components need to be chilled to nearly absolute zero, which
Which
must
is
be
nuts.
yeah, and must be stored in vacuum more rarefied than that of outer space. It's really hard to prepare and control precise quantum states, let alone keep them stable for hours. Great current changes in temperature and vibrations can easily stabilize the system. That is crazy, mind blowing.
Yeah, like they said, for this, there are all those technical things that Renee just talked about, but it also said that during this shutdown, um, a lot of people, they had to go in like once a week or something, or whenever one of the computers would shut off or one of them would freeze up or something. Typical, troubleshooting that happens. Uh, but but again, they probably didn't have to go in as much because there's less variations going on. And what they were saying is that they, for this kind of research, this research would it would be pushed so much farther into the future if there were more remote and autonomous speed research, like research like this. It was saying if they don't have the money to do like a controlled environment like what's been happening right now, so they're actually like, it's like these places that usually weren't like private had become private, and it's like enterprise level. It's like you take a research facility that wasn't like the cutting edge research and it's gone that much higher.
Definitely.
You have to pay for so much more insulating or soundproofing, or being in a remote area where nothing's going on, nobody's driving by, no construction, no anything.
Yeah, definitely. And it states here by the end of 2020, there will be several types of quantum computers will be available through the cloud services hosted by Amazon and Microsoft. What do you think about that?
Pretty cool. The one thing I didn't understand was that they were saying that these, or was that the next? Oh, it was the next. Well, it was either this one or the next one. They're similar in some regards. That they were saying that blockchain, was it encryption that was kind of in danger because or was that the next one?
Sure.
Sorry. It's oh yeah, I was talking about apps. I'm sorry. This article is very long. It was talking about like there's these apps that oh, I apologize.
It's cool, bro.
Yeah, I'm just totally confused.
This topic kind of blows our minds right here.
Yeah,
this one and the next topic kind of blows our minds.
Again, it was totally out of my pay grade.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree with you. It's not in my pay rate right here, so I don't know much about quantum computers. But we could go ahead and move on to the next topic before we get more confused as we are right now.
Definitely.
Because it's, like I said, I have not studied much about quantum computers, and neither has Joe, because that's beyond our pay rate. So, but hey, if you have any questions or anything about quantum computers that you know about, please feel free to inform us about articles and stuff like that.
Comment below and educate the public about some of the things that we've been saying,
because quantum computers is the next leap to technology. It's coming closer than what you think, and it's going to revolutionize the world. It's going to change everything to faster internet speeds, faster data throughputs, faster visits to the hospital, faster everything's going to be a lot faster input and throughput, even through the internet speeds. That one of the topics that we'll be covering at the pretty much almost the end. So you'll be fascinated with this new stuff that we're bringing out today.
Yeah, I mean, if it relates to the other type of stuff with like the fabs, like the 7 nanometer and the 5 nanometer and stuff, if it relates to computing, below those small measurements, if that's what this is kind of talking about, like, they were measuring it and making sure these atoms are doing what they're doing, like stable and like testing them, right? Correct. But if this is helping us study atoms so that we can get to like 1 nanometer or 0.5, like, because I think it was like at 3 or 5 or somewhere. Yep. They said that these electrons are escaping and they have to figure out how to control them.
Yep, that's why the quantum computing has to be in the very cold state. Because it won't overheat, and because the smaller things are, everything just starts to just go out. It needs to be cool.
So yeah, that's probably why AMD went to the chiplet design, because there might be a point where we can't, right? Like for the consumer won't be able to go maybe below a certain point, but then the high tech, like the government and the other corporations, they can afford to Sub-Zero, like we're not going to be able to afford these cool PCs like that.
I wonder how much money that they're each one of those quantum computers are.
Yeah, like at what point does it become beneficial and useful?
The cost of electricity, bid Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next topic. A hyperdimensional computing system that performs all core computations in memory. Still think this is the kind of out of our pay rate, but
yeah, anything that does more computations in a smaller area, I'm all for it. So
yeah,
I'm pro computations.
Yeah, this right here is hyperdimensional computing. Is an emerging computing approach inspired by patterns of neural activity in the human brain. Unique types of computing can allow artificial intelligence systems to retain memories and process new information based on data or scenarios it previously encountered. That is kind of crazy. It's almost like having a brain. Computers having its own brain. What do you think about that?
Well, and was it it's just, well, because usually isn't it like they're saying, with, I'm just gonna make the crude analogy, like your system RAM.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not as fast as like VRAM, right? But
Yep.
yeah, it's just a different level of speed. Like the reason why you don't do a lot of stuff in like RAM or VRAM or whatever you do it in, and you have like hard drives or SSDs or something, is because it's very expensive to have a lot of that, fast RAM, right? But if you can do that, that might push the speeds even faster. So I think it's a lot of it's based on the cost for using something so dense like that.
Yep. So true. And I wonder how long it took them to build this, or how did they think about this hyperdimensional computing?
Yeah, I think it was just they didn't, just the rough thing I would say is that people are having to be more imaginative with memory in computers because there were so many advancements in CPUs that the thing that was kind of lagging is the memory, the like DDR3 to DDR4 to DDR5. It took a long time for us to go from DDR2 to 3 to 4 and maybe 5 coming up in like a year or two. So that's kind of like lagged behind the CPU. And then that would really like improve the experience. And also if you're doing it for research, it will and any other application you can think like medical or something else, it'll really speed up things.
I wonder if the hyperdimensional and the quantum computing actually are higher than DDR5. Maybe like DDR10 or something, like way beyond what we as public have current moment.
Yeah, you've treated my interest. I'm gonna have to look up this HDC and see how it compares to the current consumer parts.
Because I know that the government and the medical field and the quantum era and all that stuff, that we get all the hand-me-downs. We get all the stuff that, like, right now we at home we're running a gigabit, but in reality that government and some other places are running petabytes of data, big thick fiber cables, and we're just running still older technology that they had maybe way back like in the early 90s, and we didn't even have.
Yeah, and a lot of us are, like reading we're watching the internet at like 5 megabytes per second or like uploading at some low speed. So we need, I would say, I just push cities and countries, we need something like Google Fiber across the whole planet. Like we need to catch up because like most people do not have fast enough internet to really engage in modern society.
Yeah, if we're gonna be moving to quantum computers and hyperdimensional stuff, we really need to actually move into everybody at least having a 1 gig connection.
Well, some people have this very negative view. They're like, people don't need fast internet, but that really makes a gap in wisdom and knowledge and opportunity if you really if you don't make that available to a lot of people. They're saying now with this human malware, this learning from home is really an important thing, and they're not sure when they're going to reopen schools again. And some people don't have the internet connection to do, video from home, or they can do it, but they can't do it well, or, like computers or the internet crash, or they're on Wi-Fi or something. And if you're in a rural area, you might not even have Wi-Fi, depending on which parts of the country you are.
Definitely.
I've not seen, like, is there a spot there's probably some places, where they're like, okay, we were going to drive you so far to go to school, but we're all learning from home now. So
yeah. And with this also too, the 5G coming around, I wonder how that's going to change the internet speeds with also quantum computing and stuff like that. Because as to what I've been told, that 5G is supposed to be the blazing fastest internet speed that we have, besides, like, direct connection through fiber optic and stuff like that. So who knows? What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, Wi-Fi is always will be slower, but yeah, go to 5G if it's safe. And people have said there's controversy about that. I haven't really researched a lot about it, but I think it's safe. But I have to admit, there are a lot of things in our society that we allow that aren't safe. So always, there always will be revisions. Might come out
Definitely.
like 10 years from now. People are like, oh, maybe we need to make 5G better or something or whatever. Because there's some controversy about that and everything. And but yeah, generally, advancements like this are super beneficial.
Moving on to the next topic. If anybody has questions, man, just feel free to comment down below, and we'll get to you as soon as we get a chance. Google buys smart glasses startup North to support ambient computing cost. What do you think about this whole the smart glasses? Because I know that the smart glasses, Google glasses, came out way back in 2010, 2013. I don't know if you remember that, Joe, but they were kind of pretty dope there. Now let's. Well, I don't know what you think about with this whole new type of glasses with this laser that's coming onto your lenses, and you'll be able to see that through right there in front of your face. So what do you think about this?
Well, I think it has some pretty cool. I mean, a lot of them would be really geeky, in my opinion, applications. I wonder though, like, I didn't see a lot of advertising back when that was,
Really?
Yeah, with that. Yeah. I mean, I didn't really, what were they advertising it as? Like, you can watch, like, it's like you can watch a movie up close, like kind of like they said some like interesting things that weren't like really, beneficial, but like, what were the ones that were like business wise?
It was like camera, like you could be able to, like, instead of going to like Zoom or Skype, and you'll be able to do that stuff, and then because you also had a camera connected to it as well, and something like that. I don't remember too much about it. I just know that you'll be able to see your time. You'll be able to see certain things off of that screen. I don't remember if you could see text messages and stuff like that, but now kind of this one is totally different. It shoots a laser, and my worries is, what about the laser and your eyes? How is that gonna affect at long term?
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, Google, didn't they? Yeah, they they paid a pretty penny for this. They weren't talking about it publicly about the price, but there was a report with the Globe and Mail about $180 million deal. So I don't know. Companies have spent a lot of money on things before that have not worked out, but you think $180 million, there there should be something to be said about that. Maybe if there is some concerns for safety, they could figure out some safeguards or do something in the future. I don't think I can't think of it actually being that damaging to your eyes. Any more damaging probably, from what I think, just like this layman's thing, right, than what you do when you stare at a monitor, right? The monitor is sending lights to your eyes. I don't think that the lasers or whatever the light that's coming from the glasses, I don't think it can be stronger than what you do for a monitor. But I could be wrong. I just haven't. They don't show anything about it because it's maybe some old 2013 or some other products in the past advertised that with people having safety concerns. You have to inform the public some. If you have this technology and people have concerns about, is it going to hurt my eyes? Well, you better show them the science to show that it's not going to hurt their eyes. Otherwise, you're kind of like getting lucky whether the public accepts this as the next best thing. And I can see some applications now that I'm thinking about it. Like if you, for some reason, wanted to, it's like, think of it like escaping your house. You could like have Wi-Fi connected to your house, but you could be out in your yard and you could have that, or seeing something like that, and you're just watching something, or you're talking to somebody like on Skype video or something, just something to like connect us more with nature, where you're still connected, but you're not connected at the same,
That's what the advertisement was on as well. Like if the kids go to the zoo and a teacher or stuff like that, they could go out there and show the rest of the class, or and Skype it to another classroom, and then they could actually see it, like if they were actually there, and ask questions and stuff like that. I don't know how the audio is supposed to come through. That part I'm not 100% sure. If it was like a speaker, or what was it connected to be able to see all that?
Was it that did the glasses transmit video and audio too?
Yeah.
So it's like a camcorder, like
correct.
A webcam.
I remember something about that. They would be able to do that and be able to and do some other. There's a lot of other crazy stuff. I just don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I think that would be very interesting for if you think of like, well, I think there'd be a lot of documentary type of things that'd be interesting about that. It'd be like, what does it look like to be in the eyes of this throughout their day? You know what I mean? You could see a lot of subjective, anecdotal. This is what it looks like when a computer engineer does his day, or whatever they do, like through the eyes of a lifeguard, through the eyes of whatever. I don't know. I think it'd be kind of interesting it would be actually, what it's doing. It could potentially, if it had like that kind of recording or projecting thing, it could connect people, empathy and sympathy for people based on what they're doing, like, oh, this is what they're wearing this, and it's not projecting light to them right now, but it's recording them. I don't know. Just think of some job that you don't want to do, but somebody's showing you how hard that job is, Yeah. I don't know. Just educational tool. And there's probably some business applications too that we've already taught.
If this was to become available sometime in the near future, I probably would be definitely getting it and use it for my vlogs. If I could actually vlog with it, that would be pretty dope.
Yeah, there are some things that are similar to this. I actually thought about that. Like there are some glasses that record. Like they record, basically there's like a dot between your forehead right here. But and yeah, I did think like what you're saying, like vlogging and stuff. Having like an inconspicuous camera that you can just go about like as if you're doing your day, and you're not trying to record people or do anything mischievous or anything. But some people don't like to be on a camera, and you're just like, well, I'm not going to film you. I'm just going to like look at this Best Buy object as I'm like reviewing it. Like it's kind of like, it's kind of like like an unboxing, but not unboxing, And so there's so many consumer ways people could do this.
And also too, I don't know if this is going to be counting into the future or what, but this is just a futuristic deal. I wonder if this could actually help out with doctors in surgery when they're operating somebody, and if they use this as a tool, so they could if another doctor seeing this live, they could guide them through surgery and stuff like that.
So basically like more troubleshooting.
Correct.
And it might not be on, of course, like routine stuff, but maybe like the cutting edge surgery, like they're doing something they haven't done before, and they want many people in there at once,
or demonstrating on a live patient, somebody doing surgery for the first time, showing it out to a class on how to do this.
Yeah, and this is less intrusive than a camera over the shoulder or something, or, I'm not sure. There might be some application like that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Even that would be pretty cool too. Also, if you watched Iron Man, like be able to spot things and it detects and tells you what it is. If that actually camera could actually do that same thing and help the doctors out determine what things are what they're inside and what could be causing problems and stuff like that. That'd be
Oh
pretty
yeah, I
dope.
know what you mean. Yeah, yeah, like little warning signs.
Yeah, like warnings and like detecting.
Like this blood vessel is more inflamed. Like you're looking at 5 of them over here, but there's one right here that needs your attention. And
correct, like be cautious or be cautious. Like don't cut too far, this far. All these measurements.
Yeah, maybe connected to some kind of like earpiece that makes a noise or something.
Correct. Like who knows? Who knows what this technology is gonna come to? But that's just kind of like mind blowing right now. So kind of throwing something out there for the future. Like who knows? Maybe Google's listening and they want to hear my little opinion here.
Yeah,
a little voice.
Google paid $180 million maybe for this idea and this technology and this company. So let's see what Google does with it.
Hopefully it does good, better than the Google Glasses era. Those were pretty dope, man, at the time.
How much were they selling for? Do you remember?
Man, I don't. I want to say they were like close to 500, huh? Yeah, or 900 or something. I know now they're going a little over 1,000, but they're only on beta for businesses.
So basically, like VR prices.
Correct. And then I know that also too that Snapchat came out with some glasses too as well. I don't know what happened to those.
That's probably why it wasn't as successful, because the technology was pretty new. And as we've seen with VR, even though VR is a little bit more popular, VR hasn't taken off like people thought it would. It's too much of a investment. $700 or $600 to get a good, like, the people want to spend like $800 or something to get a good one, and then you don't even have like the games or whatever system you have to do, or you're thinking, oh, you need to get a new graphics card to like keep it above 90 frames per second. And personally for myself with the glasses, I thought even without the glasses, I think that the resolution isn't good enough. That I saw, like, my brother has one. He actually owned I think he owned like the first Vive. It wasn't good enough. Like I looked at it, like, it's not for me. He's super excited about it. He thinks the resolution's good enough. These glasses are probably the same thing. The resolution probably wouldn't have satisfied me back then. And who knows if it would satisfy me now. You have to have a product that's mind-blowing enough that people are like, okay, I'm going to buy it.
That's also too, people get nauseous too, because they're still introducing that. Still a new era, like the 4D glasses.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people still today get sick from that. You imagine him putting on goggles and actually like moving around their heads and using their arms, and you get nauseous because of all that motion. I did a VR game recently and it was pretty dope, man. But also too, it's kind of like dangerous because you don't know who's on the other side. Like if somebody's walking up behind you or something. It is kind of crazy, think about that.
Were you playing this in public then?
Yeah, I was over there at the mall. We put on the head goggles. I had a vlog for it, but that video got lost. God knows where my little baby put it, Roger. I don't know where he put the memory card. It's lost. So if I could find it, I could show you hidden footage of me with VR glasses and going all epic on the zombie apocalypse era. But I ended up getting killed by a zombie. Just heads up, if you're a gamer. So I got assassinated by a zombie. So
yeah, it makes people think of like, what if someone's in my house that I don't want them in my house or something, or what if there's some animal that came into my house when I have these on or something?
Yeah, I think the closest thing that we got to VR right now, and it's cheap and affordable, is if you use an app on your phone. You just download the game, and then you just put the phone right there in front of your glasses.
Yeah, my brother, before he bought the Vive, he actually, I should show you next week. It's in the room behind me. He made his own like phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was like cardboard and like plastic and like tape and yeah.
Do you remember that era? Cardboard. Google's cardboard.
No.
Really? They would send a cardboard and you would just put your phone in there.
I mean, that's what he probably like. He probably either saw that or did something like that. Or
Yeah, it's the Google's cardboard project. I don't know what happened to that. I don't know if it was scrapped or what. I haven't heard about it in a while.
yeah, so I'll show you that.
I'll check. I'll show you the Google I'll show you the cardboard. I don't know if it's called exactly cardboard, but it was cardboard something. They would send you a cardboard or something. You just put your phone in there. It's kind of funny. Cardboard glasses or something. I don't even remember, but something like that. All right, Google.
Was it like advertising that? Was it kind of like getting people to get used to their glasses?
I guess it was part of the cardboard box era, I guess. And a little later that they came out with the Google glasses. And after that, I haven't heard anything about cardboard box era. And Google glasses just disappeared, and then they finally announced that they had just shut the project down.
Yeah.
But now I've been hearing that it's coming back, but it's coming out strong. It's coming back stronger than it did before. Because I've been keeping an eye on this topic since it's shut down, and there's been real big rumors that it's coming back and it's going to do a really good job in the upcoming, because technology is coming out on 3D and more pretty much 4D, and everything's coming out really high def. So there's been talk that it's going to come out way better than what it did, and hopefully I could be on board on the first project.
That'd be cool.
And hopefully you could get in it too, man. It'll be a pretty dope experience with these Google glasses.
Yeah, I've been willing to try them.
Okay, so moving on to the next topic. The very big topic that I wanted to disclose. There's been talk. A plan to redesign the internet could make apps no one controls.
That was where I was getting confused earlier. This was the apps that were a little bit what was it? I'm getting confused again. But it was basically that forget it. Sorry about that. Is this one so long? Go on.
It's cool, man. It's like there's been, it says here it's in 96, John Perry Barlow, I think it says, hopefully his name is right, co-founder of the internet rights group the Electronic Frontier Foundation, wrote a Declaration of Independence of Cyberspace, which I did not know is a declaration of internet independence for cyberspace. Did you know anything about that?
No.
I just went boom on my head. I didn't even know what the hell it was. It said they were weary giants of flesh, steel. It come from cyberspace, a new home of mind on behalf of the future.
Yeah. It was. They're saying the internet used to be more of a. It wasn't always. I mean, you think about it. Like if the government created the internet, it never really was the Wild West to begin with.
Yep.
But after that point, it kind of. It sort of was, because a lot of the people who were part of the internet, you need a lot of technical know-how with the earliest computers to be a part of it.
Yep.
So it was a pioneer in that sense. But now that most people are connected to the internet in a lot of different ways, you have these big companies that basically they have, if you have a lot of money, you can make sure that connections to your computer, to your internet site, right, are faster than someone else's. You
Correct.
Pay for the faster lanes. And there was actually that was that huge discussion. I don't think I agreed with the way that the court ruled in this, but that was the whole you know what I'm talking about? That was the whole
2016, right?
Yeah,
like
I can't remember what it was called at the moment, but it was about whether internet speeds could be throttled, and you had to pay for faster lanes. And I think the way it was is I think that the people, like the common person, lost, I think. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what happened with that project, that ruling? I haven't seen anything been affected recently. Besides that, a lot of companies are actually starting charging for their own service recently.
I mean, that's what was the end result. That was what was going to always happen, is if you rule in favor of allowing people to have a lot of micro transactions pay to access this website or that website, uh, or they control like how much bandwidth or how much you're uploading. You don't have unlimited downloads. I noticed that my own internet provider got to the point where they were they before there were no limits on how much you can download. Then they went to, you can only download 1,000 gigabytes per month. And
Mhm.
if you went beyond that, you had to pay for every every 50 megabytes, you had to pay $10. So you normally would pay like 60 or 70 a month for like 30 or 50 megabytes per second, unlimited. And now you were paying like 60 plus 10 for, and we would go over like 3 or 4 times a month because a family of 5. So you're paying like additional $50 on top of the 60 you're already paying. So you're paying like twice as much, right? So we finally went to a business plan that we're on right now, where it's unlimited bandwidth for $60, but it's lower download speeds and dedicated upload speed. But
That's
yeah,
crazy.
I really didn't like that they just keep charging for, just going a little bit over, these limits. They're like oh yeah, I think they charge just for every 50 megabytes over. So like, think about that. It was $60 for 1,000. Now every 50 is like a super premium.
Damn.
You know, it's like to get to that 1,000 gigabytes. How many dollars is that?
Uh,
It's like $200 or something.
I don't know, but it was a lot.
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't pay $200 for internet, dude. I'm barely paying what, $15 for 100 megs up and
No,
down.
we never paid more than like 2 or 3 times over, like $20 or $30, but it was getting to be a point of contention in our family.
Damn. Well,
So
glad you actually moved over.
yeah. So going back to the article, it's, people are trying to, I'm not sure it's actually, I mean, I'm not against it, but I'm not sure I would necessarily be a part of it a lot. They're talking about how these big companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon, Alibaba, Tencent, and Baidu, that they control a lot of the internet space, that people go to them. People spend a lot of time with them. And so they're regulating a lot of what happens on their platforms, like
Mhm.
the kind of dialogues they allow to happen, the transactions they let to happen, like the interactions, like video or any kind of thing you're saying, like games or whatever. So people are upset that these companies have so much power, but at the same time, we gave them this power because we use their services. Like, I wouldn't want to pay a cent to use Facebook. So I don't mind that Facebook takes my information and sells it to other people to give me a free product on Facebook. Can you imagine, like, what you get on Facebook is so much and you get it for free because they use your data like that. So these people are upset about like companies like that who are controlling the internet in a lot of ways, because if people like your product and they go to your product, well, then you have like first dibs on like the more expensive ads and stuff. And these other people, there are some arguments about like, if let's say you have some radical ideas or something, some people push for different internet providers or different website servers or whatnot to restrict access to those people who say controversial things with different topics or different ideas or something. Like, let's say they have an idea that some country is doing something bad to their people or something, and some other platform takes them down because they think that's too out there. Well, these other people are saying, well, even if we do go and make our own, basically our own like network of internet, some of those servers, can be taken down. So they're just trying to compete. I'm not exactly sure about. I think it was talking about like the speeds, right? Like they're trying to get really fast speeds.
Yep.
But it was something that was. Oh, here's the part that I was confused about earlier. It said that in practice, it means that these apps that basically, like, Facebook is an app. So they're saying like these apps that you would it's like open source and basically by the people it could be either, I don't know, changed by the people, or it's not owned by anybody. It's kind of like owned to everybody. It says like nobody owns or controls it. Data centers will be paid in a fee like crypto tokens by the app developers by running their code, but they won't have much access to the data, making it hard for advertisers to track your activity across the internet. So some people are upset that they don't that their data is being taken. So
Yep. It's just crazy how everything's being controlled by the markets, man. It started off with just those small companies, made it global, and now it's being taken over by the biggest companies in the world.
well, the good thing though about a big company having this is if there's a problem, like they're saying, well, if nobody owns it, then if there's something illegal or abusive, or let's say something happens where they gain backdoor access to your computer or something, or whatever, right? There's nobody to hold accountable. There's no one necessarily. You have to do a lot of like, I'm not sure about. Have you ever heard of any like digital evidence,
Yes.
courts, right? How many of these, like, I don't know. It was just saying like if somebody who down the block, like Facebook, is the hoster, you have someone to sue if something really bad goes on.
Like a lot of things, a lot of the viruses and everything comes like you're right. You're completely right, because a lot of the viruses that we get are from out of the country, and I'm pretty sure you're aware of that. And there has been talk in the past that the government was going to block out foreign countries, from seeing other countries, and I think that's a great idea in a way, but it's kind of bad because you got products and merchandise and companies from out of the country that make money off of this.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a good thing that they do have it, but I see both points now.
Yeah, and I do. I personally think that the scale has tipped too far, where our internet is too vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
I think they need to like pull back a little bit and restrict. If most of these malicious attacks are coming from one country or a few countries, or whatever, I think we do need to restrict channels until the point where we can figure out how to go around that. Because there is a lot of fraud going around.
Well, right now we do have the capability of doing that.
Yeah.
I just don't know why they haven't done it yet, and they do have enough evidence on where it's coming from, but they just don't do it. I'm surprised that they haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I think it goes along the lines of there's a lot of things that happen in countries that really shouldn't happen. I'm kind of on one side of the fence on a lot of things, like so I'll take a topic that's unrelated to technology for a second. So you take you can in any country you can buy super unhealthy food, right? And that food is going to damage your brain, damage your heart, damage all your internal organs. But we let all these things be on the market, Sure. And if you look at like, I mean, the obesity numbers across the planet have been going up for the last 50 years and like skyrocketing, right? So cigarettes were legal for like hundreds of years, right? Thousands of years, like in the different forms, right?
Yep.
Over time, we've regulated it more. And it's similar to this stuff until people get really upset about, I don't know, about their credit cards or whatever being hacked or their information being stolen on a big scale. If there's not enough push, then Congress or whoever, I guess they have other concerns that they're working on.
True, man.
But like you say, I think that things have swung in the encryption of information, that it swung too far to the point where it's too free, where we're getting attacks from people, like individuals and groups of people and maybe even countries, and yeah, I bet you, what do we go back to that? I didn't ask you, do you want to pay for Facebook, or do you like Facebook for free?
For Facebook for
like I talked to my brothers and my family and stuff, and some of them, like my brothers don't use Facebook anymore. They used to. But I talked to somebody else and they use Facebook a lot. and they're upset that Facebook used their information. But like, but how else do you think Facebook is gonna like make money? You know, like, do you want to pay $30 a month to use Facebook? And that person like uses Facebook a lot. If they didn't have Facebook, they'd have to pay that $30 a month because they rely so much on Facebook.
I'm already off of Facebook completely. I don't
Are you
really
really?
use it. Haven't used it in a while. I use it just every now and then to get on it. Like yesterday, I got on it, and I get on it every now and then. But
Yep.
I usually forget about it. I have everything pretty much automated. Like for all my posts, just automate it, and then when people comment, I just go back in and I comment. But I really don't do much on it. I post some pictures, to show people like, hey, I'm still alive. I'm still here, guys. Like, hey, family, friends. I'll pop in every now and then and I'll say everybody. But I used to be on it every day, all day. But now since I do social media, I really don't like YouTube. I really don't do Facebook. So I'm sorry, guys, if some of my friends are here, people that I know. It's like I'm not on. It's because I've been too much behind the scenes of social media, creating content, so for you guys to enjoy.
Yeah, and I like Facebook because it helps facilitate long distance relationships, like
Yep.
family members or friends or even business, or something, it's yeah, I mean there's so many useful things that they've developed over the time. But again, I wouldn't want to pay for it. Like just like I wouldn't want to personally, I gotta tell you, I rather watch YouTube ads than pay for YouTube Premium.
True.
I don't, like if you're gonna give it to me for free and I just have to watch an ad, I'm gonna watch your ad. Like I've never owned cable television.
Really?
My family, yeah, no, my family, we've always had. Look, you need the internet, right? So we pay. So our cable internet, our cable television was internet. So you get we had start with dial up, and then you went to we skipped DSL and went to cable, right? But we get channel 5, channel 2, channel 29, all that stuff. I've been growing up on that for the last 32 years of my life, and then we just right now we're when you have the internet, you have access to a lot of different outlets. The internet, in my opinion, basically got rid of the need for cable television.
Yeah, now I don't pay for cable television. Everything I stream online.
Yeah, and what do you use that? What do they stream? Because
I just use whatever I could find on the web.
Yeah, because sometimes you there's so much to binge watch of old things,
I've used to use Netflix, but I got away from Netflix. I got into the Redbox, got off of Redbox. I got onto what was the other one? Amazon. We got paid for Amazon Prime, so I use Amazon Prime a lot. So Amazon Prime is pretty dope. I used to use Crunchyroll. I got off of that. I got into several other companies, man. I kept on getting off and on. I don't really stick onto those providers for a long time. I used to use DirecTV Now, if you're familiar with it. It's an online streaming platform. But now AT&T owns it. I used to use that. It was to be like $29, $39 a month. But now AT&T bought them out, so and that's pretty much the last time I have had paid cable television. I haven't really paid anymore. So I just use Fire Stick and I just whatever platforms I use or my Roku. And I just stream services off of those free or paid sites I ever have, and that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else.
Yeah, for paid sites, I paid for I played for Crunchyroll for 2 years, and then I switched from Crunchyroll to Funimation.
Yep.
And then I'm paying Funimation, and then my family would pay for Netflix, and then the last thing I was thinking, with this human malware, when we were all at home, CBS was giving out a free month of their online stuff.
Oh, really?
So this was back in March or April.
Dang.
And I watched through 10 episodes of Picard. They had season 1 of Picard for Star Trek, and then I also watched 5 or 6 episodes of the new Star Trek Discovery. And then after that, I was like, okay, I've watched enough Star Trek. You're distracting me from what I need to do. I'm gonna end my 30-day subscription early. So there's enough people that once in a while, they're giving out these 30-day subscriptions, and you binge watch for 30 days and you're done.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so they're some people who aren't me care more about their privacy and their personal data, and they don't like you tracking all their purchases. They don't like you when they go from Amazon to Newegg to wherever on the internet. They don't like that you're following them around with ads or knowing what they're buying. Maybe they're buying something that's very private and they don't want someone to find, like, they don't want that information leaked. But at the same time, though, that information could be leaked anyway if somebody like got into your credit card company. You know what I mean? Like, it's like at some point that information it's on the internet. Like, they're encrypted websites,
Yep.
but if all these websites are encrypted, you know, then how do anybody's personal information that's like financial ever get like mass releases, right? It's like it's not that encrypted, you know? And so like this argument is like talking about whether encryption can like keep ahead of the curve too.
Definitely.
So yeah. If you guys like open source apps and you like open source, you don't like to you rather not use Facebook or pay for Facebook, get on board the community. The community, it's always harder when you do something like this to get a lot of traction because you don't have a lot of money and a lot of technical, like there's a lot of people doing it for hobbies. So if you're interested in this, know there's other people like you who are creating these apps that are open source and not not controlled by a corporation.
Okay, so is there anything else we need to discuss on this topic?
I don't believe so. I think if we can wrap it up today, we were mentioned that we have our giveaway going away. It's still ongoing. It's $15 this month. You can go with the gleam.io link that we will provide. It's a member appreciation for a year. We're doing this. This month is 15. Next month will be 20. So you can do that. Next week, the stream will be on my channel, Tech We Love. And Renee, if you have anything else you want to add?
No, that's pretty much it, guys. I really do hope you enjoy this podcast. Please make sure you subscribe and turn on any post notifications so you keep yourself up to date and won't miss any podcasts in the future. And also, like Joe says, there's a giveaway. Make sure you go do that giveaway. Right now is the best time to if you need some money. There's the giveaway, and you have a chance of winning, guys. Like some people are just short $15 for rent. $15 goes a long way, isn't that right, Joe?
Yep. So gave out. I gotta say, just a little bit, like pulling back the curtain a little bit. The first giveaway I did for May, I had to go through 3 or 4 winners because 2 weeks went by and nobody responded to my email. But then the 4th winner of that first giveaway, they responded that morning, like like 20 minutes later, and so you get 2 weeks to respond. I think that's a good amount of time to respond because some people like they respond that day, and then the second winner for June for the $10, they responded that day as well. So just you give me your email and I send it back to you. And we don't do anything with your personal information. We don't put you on an email list or anything. It's just member appreciation.
Guarantee you that.
Yeah.
We don't do that to you.
So yeah, this is the 4th of July. So I hope you guys are enjoying your families and, and fireworks or whatever else you do to celebrate 4th of July. And for me personally, I'll be staying safe at home. Probably just watch some Star Trek and call it an early night.
Yeah, I gotta go out to see a firework display in a little while. 7:00. No,
Nice.
actually, it's actually at 9:00, but we're gonna get ready about 7:30, about an hour and a half from now. So
yeah, I guess you're lucky in that regard. Like a lot of places decided not to have fireworks this year.
yeah, trust me, it's they put it. Everybody stay in their vehicles. Firework display.
Oh, okay.
So we're seeing it from the vehicles, so we're not going anywhere. We did it in San Antonio last year, but we just stay in the vehicle. So we thought we were just stuck in traffic. So we got to see the firework display, but that's
Nice.
pretty much as far as we got to do.
Nice.
Well, like I say, guys, hope you enjoyed this, and please, we'll see you guys next time. So stay safe out there.